This is the real story of today's program. It's the championship fight in the strawweight division. One, because I don't know what happened, man, but they kind of shelved the division entirely. Weili fights like one time a year. It's been that way for the last couple of years. Nobody else has really risen up to be that phenom that's saying, like, I'm going to snatch the belt, aside from Suarez. And the reason that I think she doesn't get as much hype as she probably should have is because all the hype was on her, dude. Like, 5 years ago? Like, when she was really, like, rocking and rolling, but injuries and all the other stuff, it just kind of, it took her out. So now, she's 34 years old. That's the big caveat. I want you guys to remember that. She's 34 years old, fighting a 35-year-old champion, which is also troubling. But Weili, because she has so little tread on the tires, or maybe that's not the right word to use, but she doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on her, I think that she's not a typical 35-year-old champion. So let's talk about it, man. Path to victory from the southpaw Tatiana Suarez. You take her down and you submit her. It's pretty simple, right?
Pretty simple. Get the respect earned from Weili Zhang by being able to dominate her. Work the ground game.
Now, I'm going to give you two tables of information, and you're just going to, I'm not even going to say anything after. I'm just going to give you the data set, and you're going to give me a reaction. Fair?
Fair.
All right, here we go. Jessica Andrade, Montana De La Rosa, Nina Nunez, Carla Esparza, Alexa Grasso. Then you got Yan Xiaonan, Amanda Lemos, Carla Esparza, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Rose Namajunas. What is your reaction to those data sets?
Yeah, one is a hit list of killers for sure, and a murderer's row of champs who have been there doing it for a long time. Where the other, yeah, there's some dangerous people in there, but not necessarily the caliber of opponent that was on the other side.
And that's the story right there, man. Weili, dominant, tested champion. Has she lost? Yes, she has. But she's come back with a vengeance. And she has improved not only her game, her full repertoire, really. She's improved as a striker. She's improved as a grappler. And she's fought some of the best to ever do it. Tatiana Suarez, though, aside from her little jump up, Montana De La Rosa at flyweight, it's just not the stiffest sense of opposition based on her fight style. You know what I mean? Carla Esparza, that's going to be the common opponent right there, where I don't care what you say, AJ. I don't care that her career didn't pan out maybe the way that people intended it to. I think that's a huge victory, especially from a grappling department, because Carla Esparza smashed everybody in the grappling. So that is big time right there. Now, Weili, when she beat Esparza, she submitted her. When Suarez fought Esparza, she knocked her out, ground and pound, right? So equal paths right here. This is the big question. The opening line, minus 120 for Weili, plus 100 for Suarez, flipped. Minus 120 for Suarez, even money for Weili. You bet $100 on Weili, you get $100 in return, right? Here's the question, man. If Tatiana Suarez gets to her bag, if she gets to the takedown, yes, a lot of people will be really scared, but I think that not only do you have to get the takedown, you have to hold Weili there. If you don't get the finish, you have to do that for 25 straight minutes. If she stands up, I just think that there is such a disparity, AJ, in the striking. Now, can Suarez freeze her with her grappling? Maybe. But this isn't the first person that has attempted to take a wrestling approach against Weili. So I think it's a massive disparity on the feet. I think we see a whole entire different fight, not a championship level fight on the feet, but I think this is an incredible matchup if it's grappling oriented. What do you make of it?
Absolutely, Derek. And taking it all into consideration, I actually think it's an excellent matchup, especially for Tatiana Suarez, but also for Weili to prove, like, hey, doesn't matter who you're putting in front of me, I'm still the girl. Like you said, Derek, not too much wear on the tread. So there is the Weili Zhang effect where people, they're willing to put the game into effect. They can hurt her even sometimes. We've seen in the past couple fights, but still Weili is just there and healthy or solid, you know? Yeah. But I do think Tatiana Suarez has not momentum, and I don't want to say this is like her moment, but she does have the things carrying her forward where it seems like everybody's rooting for her, everything's going right, and it could be one of those things where if Tatiana Suarez was healthy back in the day, right, it doesn't have the injuries, she could have had the same list of killers on her hit list.
I mean, look at the gap, man. 2019 through, well, last fight aside from 2023 was in 2019, right? And we haven't seen Tatiana Suarez fight since 2023 because she got hurt again. That's the other thing. People aren't really picking up on this, man. It's not like she's been fully healthy. What do you make of this, though? This is actually, I wanted to bring this up. Weili announced, and she says, hey, you know what? I actually told the UFC I wanted the winner of Shevchenko and Grasso, but Shevchenko got hurt, so now I'm defending against Suarez. That kind of shows you the trajectory of Weili versus this matchup, which could be a pitfall. If she loses her belt because of a fight that she just kind of had to take because she couldn't get her opportunity, that would suck. But it goes to show she's kind of Makachev-esque right now. He's like, hey, listen, I done cleaned out my division. I'm ready to go get some legacy over here. So again, very binary matchup. Grappler heavy for Suarez. I think that Weili could pretty much do it all. The only real problem that I'm seeing in this matchup is the hype, man. It's not the fight. It's the narrative around it. Is this your perfect opportunity to be objective for a second? Because we know what the pick is, right? We know we're both biased in our own sense because of who we're rooting with. But you just look at this matchup, right? Objectively, you're an alien and you look at it and you say the reigning champion with these 3 title defenses plus, other championship, all that good stuff, right? Versus the person who is kind of being propped up based on what happened in 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, right? Like odds-wise, man, you have to take a stab at the champ. You have to, right?
Oh, especially now that she's at even money. When I was looking at this, I thought I was taking the underdog right here. To see it's flipped, it's a little worrisome. I'm not gonna lie. When you read that number, Derek, I was like, ah, shit. Like, man, maybe we're rolling with the wrong thought process right here. Because objectively, and how Weili fights, like, it makes so much sense. She has all the tools in tool belt, and then her wrestling has only gotten better over the last couple of years, where we've seen Tatiana Suarez get in there, do some work, and then get injured, and then get in there and do some work, and then get injured again. There's some eyebrows to be raised for sure.
Yeah, honestly, man, the biggest problem, if we're being real about it, is that we have seen Weili concede some takedowns to Rose Namajunas. We've seen her concede takedowns to Esparza. I don't remember. I think she got taken out by Xiaonan, if I remember correct. So, listen, if the takedown is there, that's the scary part. Suarez can get one takedown and finish the fight. But if she doesn't, that's the question. So I'm going to roll with the resume. I'm going to roll with the current person with more momentum and the person who, actually, if you're looking at the numbers, man, fought more recently. Give me Weili. And still, we are cementing our stake in these divisions. We're not seeing too much up and at them. Because that's the thing, too, man. If she does get the belt, you got to defend it. Can she be an active champion? We'll see. But give the people your take, and let's move to the next.
I'm rolling with and new, Derek. Tatiana Suarez, folks. I think it's her time. I mean, yes, injury has happened. Things have gone on in the past. But when you're a hungry dog coming up, 34 years old, you only have so much time left on your card. Yes, this is going to be the shot. She gives it everything, all she's got. And I do think the submission probably looking like one of the better ways to get this fight going. Because if you can't get that done, you got to stand up at the start of every single round. And I do think there's a disparity there. I'm rolling Tatiana Suarez and new plus 275 submission, folks.
Yeah, submission does look nice, and fight to not go the distance, minus 135 right now. Something to think about, folks.